What up, Lakers fans? Training camp is just around the corner, and the Lakers are looking to add another Larry O.B. to the trophy case. If you're excited for the season coming up, I want you to type Lake Show in the comments right now. Welcome into the Los Angeles Lakers Report. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We have a loaded show today about, you guessed it, Russell Westbrook. We got some quotes from Ramona Shelburne. We have a new team appearing, essentially maybe as a Russell Westbrook destination. We'll break that down on the tail end of the show. But let's get to what Ramona Shelburne said on ESPN today surrounding the latest Russell Westbrook rumors. She said, Westbrook is not a buyout guy. You have to agree to a buyout. And that's not how he is wired. This is a guy who is very proud, and if you accept a buyout once in your career, you're seen differently throughout the rest of your career. Russ is Russ because of his swagger and the way he bleeds with it, the way he plays with it. You can't retreat from that. You can't let go of that because that's what made Russ Russ. It's his swagger. If he accepts that, then he's no longer Russell Westbrook. Obviously, the Lakers would love to buy out Russell Westbrook. And I kind of disagree a little bit with what Ramona Shelburne was saying. Maybe she's got some inside information on that, but I think what makes Russ Russ is that he wants to do his own thing. And being bought out would allow him to do that, go play for another team and try to reinvent himself. But the main thing here is the Lakers don't view Russell Westbrook as a part of their long-term plans, and even this year, to win a championship. I think it's evident from what we saw last year, and everybody that watches this show, that this is kind of an anti-Russell Westbrook show and he does it to himself. Like, the raw numbers look great, right? 18.5 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 7 assists, 44% from the deck. Pretty solid, right? But it comes down to efficiency and turnovers with Russell Westbrook. 29.8% from three and a brutal 66% from the free throw line. Russell Westbrook at one point was one of the most electric, talented, and must-watch players in the NBA. Now, he's just a head case. And you can talk yourself as a Laker fan into thinking that, hey, the Lakers, maybe we should keep him. We can build with Russell Westbrook. But come game 15, come game 20, you're going to still look at yourself in the mirror and say, why the hell did we do that? It just isn't a recipe for success with AD, LeBron, and Russell Westbrook. And also the Lakers, they added another starting point guard to this roster, and Patrick Beverley, someone that has beef with Russell Westbrook. A lot of people thought once the Lakers added Patrick Beverley that a Russell Westbrook trade was coming, and that still may come. But once you add a player like Patrick Beverley to this team, does that put Russ on the bench? Because I don't see them really playing all that much together, and I feel like Beverley as a point guard is a much better fit on this roster and stylistically compared to Bev next to AD and LeBron James. And when Pat Beverley said this, they're going to be playing with me. I made the playoffs last year. They didn't. It's a difference. I'm glad that we get a chance to play with each other. Look, Bev and Russ in the same locker room, get your popcorn ready because this season is going to be full of quotes that we're going to be talking about on this show. The idea of Russell Westbrook at this point is better than it actually is. We know Russell's great, going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, multiple seasons of averaging a triple-double. But right now, does he fit stylistically? And does the construct of this roster make sense for him to not only be alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but also Patrick Beverley, who I envision being a big part of this Lakers team coming into the season? Defense and three-point shooting. That's what this team needs, and that's what Beverly's going to bring. I'll ask you guys this question, though. Will Russell Westbrook finish the season as an LA Laker? Is he going to finish the season rocking the purple and gold, or is he going to end up somewhere else, and will a trade happen? I want all the Lakers fans out there right now to predict it for me. Type Y for yes, or you can go down in the comment section and type N for no. A few things are halting a potential deal between the Lakers and the Jazz. The Jazz have been one of the teams most talked about as a potential Russell Westbrook destination. It's appealing for the Jazz, right? $47 million an expiring deal. They can get off of guys like Michael Conley, Bojan Bogdanovic, as well as Jordan Clarkson, who the Lakers and I as well think would make the Lakers a very good team. The thing is, does trading Russell Westbrook for some of those guys make them a championship caliber team? That's what's holding up the Lakers from making a Russell Westbrook trade, and especially adding multiple first-round picks to it. SB Nation, they talked about Jake Fischer's report of Bleacher Report, and they said, Fischer revealed the gap between one of the Lakers' few realistic remaining trade partners, the Utah Jazz. He provided an update on the current status of a potential deal that would send Westbrook to Utah for some of its many available veterans. Per Fischer, the Jazz would consider trading several combinations of its own veterans in exchange for a package centered around both the Lakers' two highly coveted future first-round picks in 2027 and 2029. They went on to say Fischer reports that the Lakers, led by team president Rob Pelinka and majority owner Jeanie Buss, would apparently be open to including one draft pick and a future pick swap, but not both draft picks outright. The Lakers wouldn't give up 2 first-round picks to not only move off of Russell Westbrook, but to add significant players that would make this team much better. Adding a guy like Bojan Bogdanovic would stretch the floor. That is what the Los Angeles Lakers need. They need a guy on the wing that can just catch and shoot and be a guy that just can launch threes when LeBron James creates those amazing half-court assist opportunities. Also, a guy like Jordan Clarkson that can come off the bench and give you buckets would fit perfectly. And Michael Conley, even though he's not the Memphis Grizzlies Conley anymore, he's still a serviceable player, and he would be a big contributor on this Lakers team. Rob Pelinka, you need to make this move happen, because I know you're worried about 2027 and 2029. Those picks are valued very highly amongst a lot of front office people in the NBA. But the thing is, in 2027 and in 2029, LeBron James isn't going to be on this roster. The Lakers probably won't ever have a player on their franchise in the next 10, 20, 30 years better than LeBron James. The time is now to build around him. You have a generational player on your team. Don't waste the window of opportunity to compete and win the NBA Finals because you don't want to trade 2 future first-round picks that, in my opinion, if you had Bogdanovic, Clarkson, and Conley, or maybe 2 of the 3, I truly believe that makes this team a contender in the Western Conference. Do what you got to do to make yourself a contender. And adding one of those guys and only having to give up 2 future first-round picks to get off of Russell Westbrook is a great deal that Pelinka should not pass up on. But I'll let you guys voice your opinion, because I'm curious what you guys think. Would you trade 2 first-round picks to get rid of Russell Westbrook? I would do it in a heartbeat. It's addition by subtraction. You're getting off of him as a player, the salary, and you're adding better basketball players. But I'll let you guys join in. Type T for trade, type P for pass. We also have a great deal going on. Shout out to today's sponsor, Fanatics. When you go to chatsports.com/Lakers combo, you can get these 2 t-shirts. Not 1, but 2 t-shirts for 40% off. This deal is not going to last forever, and I want you guys to have the opportunity to take advantage of it. So go to chatsports.com/Lakers combo. Get yourself 2 t-shirts, 40% off. I'll put the link to that in the comments and description of today's show. Could the Miami Heat be interested in Russell Westbrook? One NBA insider says Westbrook's only landing spot is the Miami Heat. And if there's any 2 guys in the NBA that could resurrect Russell Westbrook, it is Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. So I get what he's saying. This is what Rick Bucher had to say about it. He said, even then, team executives and scouts could only come up with one potential landing spot, the Miami Heat. Team president Pat Riley has a history of cultivating fiery competitors, from Alonzo Mourning to Brian Grant to Jimmy Butler. He's hoped that point guard Kyle Lowry would be the finishing piece to another championship caliber team last season, but after posting the best record in the East, the team lost to Boston in the conference finals. Lowry, plagued by several nagging injuries, played in only 10 of their 18 postseason contests and was a shell of himself, averaging less than 8 points on 29% shooting. Depending on how this season goes for the Heat in general, and Lowry in particular, Westbrook might be a worthwhile gamble. I don't know if you should have worthwhile and gamble attached to Russell Westbrook, but if you could send Westbrook to Miami, I don't know what the deal would look like because you have to match about $44 million in a Russell Westbrook trade. It'd be really tough, but I could see the Heat and Pat Riley, the egotistical Pat Riley, saying, you know what, maybe I'm the guy, just like Pelinka thought, that could turn around Russell Westbrook and get him back to that electric player he was with the Oklahoma City Thunder. The thing is, it would have to be a 3-team deal or more to happen unless the Heat are willing to move Bam or Butler, and we know that's not going to happen. The deal with the Russell Westbrook trade is so complicated on so many different levels because the Lakers are going to have to give up, it sounds like, multiple first-round picks to move off of him, and then the team has to match about $47 million in a trade. That's extremely tough to do, and are teams willing to make that risk for the type of player that Russell Westbrook is at this point in his career? The reasons a trade most likely won't happen: Russ just makes too much money. $47 million is ridiculous. I mean, what? That's the highest paid player, one of the highest paid players in the NBA. And is he willing to have a reduced role? That's something that we kind of did not see him do this season for the Lakers. He still tried to be Russ, and that's what makes Russ Russ. His biggest strength is also his biggest weakness. And when that's the problem, sometimes when players have that type of play style, when they get down to the end of their career, they fall off a cliff, and that's what Westbrook has done. He's an inefficient offensive player. Like we said, 29% from three and 66% from the free throw line. That's just unacceptable. And if the Lakers don't want to part with 2 first-round picks, the trade is not going to happen. And then on the flip side, for the people trading for Russell Westbrook, most likely it's going to be a team that's trying to win right now, which means they have superstars. Russell Westbrook, he doesn't mesh with those guys. It didn't work with Harden. It didn't work with KD. It didn't work with LeBron. It didn't work for Anthony Davis. It is tough for Russell Westbrook to be a part of a team where he is not the focal point and has to play off of other players. It hasn't worked out. And look, I don't predict the future, but it's tough for me to say it would work out somewhere else. At the end of the day, though, look, I know this story has been hovering around the Lakers for a while now. And if you're tired of the Russell Westbrook drama, trade this, trade that, are they going to buy him out? Are they going to play with him? Is he going to come off the bench? What's going to happen? I don't know. If you're tired of all of it and you just want everything around Russell Westbrook to go away, just type done in the comments section if you're tired of all the drama. If you made it this far in the video, I want you to type real one in the comments section. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on the Lakers report, so I'd love to get to know you guys in the comments section. I'll be down there chopping it up with you all, and I like to see who's a real one and who's not. What's a real one? It's someone that likes the video, it's someone that comments, it's someone that subscribes, and they always watch to the end. So if you made it this far in the video, I want you to type real one in the comments down below.